Hello and welcome to another playthrough of CuriousGamer here with IGR, and today we will be playing as the Fungus. Now bear in mind this will probably be one of the longer videos. Fungus is my least favorite type of plague. We will be playing on casual difficulty as this is our tutorial series introducing the game and its concepts and mechanics. I'm going to be casting alone today, unlike the previous video if any of you watched that. Might drop a annotated link to it here somewhere. So let's see. What are we going to name our fungus? How about spores? I know that sounds kind of ironic, but I kind of like the name spores. So I'm going to go ahead and take these off. Whoops, wrong button there. Need the minus sign. I'm going to start mentioning these in the videos as people need to know about them. We just haven't been using them, however. If you've been playing through the rounds or you've unlocked Fungus, then you more than likely have unlocked ATP boost, which gives a bonus DNA at the beginning. I believe it's 10 DNA points. We're going to go ahead and insert that as you should have it unlocked. As well as Darwinist, which you should also have unlocked. This increases the chances of your plague mutating, which for a fungus is quite helpful. And if you finished a third game, which you will be doing by the time you finish Fungus, you'll unlock Terracite. Sorry for the spoiler. However, we will not be using Terracite. We'll just use the first two, assuming you have them unlocked and you're playing through as I am. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started here. This is casual difficulty, Fungus with... What did we name ourselves? Spores, of course. I almost forgot that. How silly. Where is Spores going to begin? Where do the best shrooms come from? Well, while I know some people are going to disagree with me, I'm going to go ahead and say Mexico. Some really interesting forests and jungles there that are home to some great psilocybin. Just my personal opinion. Depends if you read Terrence McKenna's books or not and if you agree with him. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward here and go ahead and start getting the DNA points. Now, what makes Fungus unique is that it naturally has a handicap when it comes to crossing borders. Fungus is not good at crossing borders at all, and that will be our main thing to overcome in this playthrough. However, you do receive the ability Spore Burst. While it only costs 1 DNA point now, it does increase as you evolve your fungus, but it instantly lets you cross barriers. Sometimes it fails, however. I haven't quite figured out the mechanics behind that. But for the most part, it's very useful, and it's very useful early on, which I'm going to go ahead and do here. I'm going to go ahead and get Spore Burst 1, Spore Burst 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to save 5 and 6 for a little bit later. Notice there's an entire another circle here, which we're going to come back to. This is a unique strategy with Fungus, which is not necessary for casual play at all. But I'm going to use it, however. After getting all the way up to Spore Burst 4, I'm going to come right back for transmissions, and I'm going to grab Bird 1 and Bird 2. This will be our initial start for crossing land borders. Birds are very good at migrating, and oftentimes you can get migrations into very drug-resistant countries, as well as crossing continental boundaries. And we're going to... What is this news? This looks relative to us. Cure for cancer could bankrupt. That's not the one. Research on bird flu not published. Okay. So we know that birds are going to be a good bet in this game. We've received a random event that increases the efficiency of birds, which is quite nice because we've already got both 1 and 2. And we're going to come back over here now and grab Spore Burst, the 5th upgrade, and the 6th upgrade, which will unlock access to Spore Eruption. This upgrade, it costs a little bit more and it's different from the others, where these... Spore Burst will give you typically 1 country, sometimes more if you have the air upgrade or bird upgrade. But Spore Burst, I believe this is called, Spore Eruption, will grab multiple countries at the same time. It's very useful. I've seen as many as 7 countries be captured just from 1 upgrade. Very helpful strategy. Already up to 150,000 infected here, and I believe we've only mutated 1 symptom, which is cyst. Given that we are spores, it kind of makes sense that it would have some form of skin affliction. So we're going to go ahead and keep that just to make us unique. However, this anemia I do not want... I'm going to go ahead and get my 2 refund points and come down here and grab another Spore Burst. Now, in case you haven't been paying attention, these Spore Bursts are getting quite expensive. My next one costing 9 points, as well as the Eruption costing 10. However, with this strategy, we want to try to get all of those as soon as possible, as the cost goes up with the other evolutions of our disease, or our fungus. So if we were to get, say, these resistances over here, which would help us tremendously, it would increase the cost of the Spore Burst, but there is a breaking point somewhere where it's counterproductive to keep popping spores instead of actually upgrading, because you may infect countries such as USA. Notice I've gotten drug resistance 1, however, but without that upgrade, that infection would have stayed around 5 population and never rose. So the world's now aware of spores. Not really doing anything about it, but they definitely know of it, and we'll probably be placing it on a watch list soon, as birds has begun helping us transmit all over Africa, and we've entered Europe and Asia. I don't believe we've infected South America yet, or Australia or Japan, which are going to be a little bit of a problem in this playthrough. Our main threat, however, is Greenland. Greenland is going to be quite a problem. We already got Morocco, it's off the screen, and Canada. So drug-resistant countries being grabbed quickly. We're going to go ahead and get cold resistance 1 and water. We're going to grab water 1 and save for water 2. And hopefully we'll be able to get Iceland and Greenland out of that combination and come back for our final Spore Burst, which we still have quite a few to unlock. I believe we have 5 more bursts and then both of the final upgrades. And all in all, we're shooting for getting every country before they start closing off land borders, because with a fungus, once land borders are shut down, you're not going to be going anywhere. This disease type is very hard to win with on Mega Brutal. I personally have not done it yet. I, however, know a strategy that will ensure victory. I just need the gene sequence to be able to pull it off, which I haven't unlocked all of them yet. And I'm going to come back now for Spore Burst 2 and Spore Burst 3. Try to grab a few more countries here. We want to work our way all the way around this circle as quickly as possible, which shouldn't take long. Every time we pop one of these, we gain another country, which gives us another red bubble. And it just keeps adding up, so we're back up to 10 points immediately. Now we need 13 for the next one, and then 14 for the one after that, and then the 2 burst. And we will unlock Fungus's special ability, which is insanely expensive to get due to all these burst requirements. Notice our symptoms. We're sitting on nausea and cysts. This slightly increases our infectivity while keeping our severity at a very low amount and our lethality down to 0. But the plague points from lethality are actually going to help us right now, the DNA points. So we want to try to get a little bit of lethality going on, which my favorite way of doing this, as you may have noticed in my previous videos, is to come over here and grab skin lesions, giving a massive boost to infectivity, and then getting necrosis. Necrosis is just as effective as skin lesions. However, it also makes the dead bodies still infect other population, while drastically increasing lethality at the same time. In my opinion, this is the single most efficient symptom in the game. It's between necrosis and coughing and total organ failure, as all 3 will be the difference between winning and losing many games on Brutal and Mega Brutal. Now that we've got necrosis out of the way, we're going to start killing people. You can see first death announced. The world has begun working on a cure. Not really worried about that, USA being the main contributing country, and they are completely infected at this point. So necrosis is going to start taking its toll. DNA points are going to start shooting up, and we can hopefully be able to afford all of our bursts right here. We've got Greenland, which means we probably have Iceland. No, we do not have Iceland yet. However, that is fine, because there aren't that many healthy countries left, and we still have both of our eruptions to grab. So our second eruption unlocking right there, and now we're going to go ahead and save some points and grab them. This should get us every country in the world. There's our first eruption. Gives us Iceland and some of the harder countries to work on down here. Still haven't gotten the Philippines and New Zealand. New Zealand is a son of a bitch when you were playing Fungus. So, gonna grab our second spore eruption here and hope that it gets everything. We got New Zealand. That was our main concern. Let's see what's left. Nothing. That final eruption has grabbed every healthy country in the world. All we've got to do now is let the infections sit in, which won't take long. And here's our final ability here. Spore hardening. Hardens plague spores to survive in the air indefinitely. Spores continually released. This ability right here absolutely ensures that you will spread and be infectious, and that resistances, the ones you would normally purchase over here, your cold, heat, and drug resistances, which would still help, it would add to this ability. However, that spore ability will be enough to do the job of all of those upgrades. So now we can completely focus on symptoms. And we're going to come over here and grab... This is completely unnecessary because we're playing on casual, but just to demonstrate what you may want to do on Mega Brutal in the future, you're going to want to delay this cure. This cure effort is rising very slowly. However, on harder difficulties, it won't be like that. So in order to do that, you can either grab these genetic hardening upgrades, which only increase the cure's time to finish, or you can develop lethality and start killing off people, which will drastically reduce their cure effort. Or you can do my personal favorite, which is to go ahead and grab a few special symptoms. Paralysis being the first of which will significantly increase the cure. And then coma, significantly harder to cure. Lastly is over here hidden away. It is called insanity, and it's in this top corner up here on the left side, which we'll be grabbing very shortly. Notice these upgrades will increase lethality, while not nearly as drastic as bleeding or total organ failure. They will increase the death toll. It's going to start going up quite quickly now. We're at 800 million dead, 900 million. It won't take long before we mutate total organ failure or go ahead and pay for it ourselves, as it will be our next upgrade. The world almost completely infected now. Those last countries we grabbed, New Zealand for instance, fully infected. Iceland just succumbing right there towards the end of its life. So I'm going to go ahead and grab total organ failure and save for hemorrhagic shock and end this game as quickly as possible. So I hope you guys enjoyed this guide, this tutorial of Fungus. I know this is casual difficulty. I'm only doing it for demonstration purposes and to unlock gene sequences while doing these videos with you guys. And I hope you learned something, as we'll probably use a very similar strategy to this on our Mega Brutal video. However, there will be some changes made. We'll be picking up certain symptoms in the beginning instead of going straight into the Spore Burst strategy. I'll discuss that in the future. But I'm still debating on whether I'm going to do a normal difficulty series or not, or just go ahead and skip straight to brutal. I don't think normal is something that anyone wants to see, so I'm probably just going to cut out those videos and skip straight to brutal. If you guys got a build you want to see, or a disease type you're having trouble with, for instance, bioweapon on Mega Brutal, I know that's one of the biggest ones, and I'm thinking about go ahead and making a video on that before I get there chronologically. Drop me a comment below, and hopefully subscribe to the channel as well, and let me know that you want to see that, and I'll take the time to make it outside of the current schedule that I have, which is just to do this in a linear style. So yeah, pulmonary edema mutated right there. 200,000 people left on Earth. No need to spend these DNA points. This game is over with. Spores has successfully eradicated all of mankind, and it is a sad, sad day. But not for us. For Spores, it is a good day. For IGR, it is a good day. These are our graphs. I'm sure you know what they mean by now. If you don't, I'm sorry. I'll explain them one day in a in-depth video maybe, but they're pretty self-explanatory. So until next time, like this video if you like it, and drop me a comment if you want to see something specific. And that is it.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure and hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe.
Got a question, comment, or game you'd like to see? Let us know by commenting below, and do your part
to help IGR discover more great games.